Hello, lovelies. This is Lynn. I'm glad you're here today. Today is Saturday, April 5th, 2025. And in this reading, I want to read about Jasmine Crockett. I adore Jasmine Crockett. She's such a brilliant woman, and I love her fire and her power. And I'd love to know. I guess when I shuffled the cards, I wanted to know what drives her, what motivates her to be the person that she is. So to start with, I pulled five cards from the For the Love of Dragons Oracle deck. This is by Angie Sullen's artwork by Amy Brown. And I pulled two, four, five cards here from the Akashic Truth Oracle card deck by Saint Paling, Pailing. So let's take a look. This is these dragon cards. I chose these. Jasmine just has the spirit of a dragon. She is kind and caring and fierce all at the same time. And those are qualities in a human being that just I respect them so much. Anyway, so let's take a look at this. Let's start up here with the curious. And the curious is somebody who, let me just read from the book. Being in the know is overrated. Certainty is limited, but being curious, it leaves room for mystery, for surprise, for wonder. While dragons are known for great wisdom, they also keep a door open in the mind to grow their fierce intelligence with curiosity. No new relationship, business, art, or scientific invention started without curiosity. Now is the time to investigate, to ask questions, to open the mind and heart to approach your situation. With a dragon's eye and a curious heart, you can see what others cannot. And I think if I were to pick one card out of all that describes Jasmine Crockett, the curious dragon, curiosity, that sense of wanting to know more, no matter what the knowledge is, wanting to know more, that is who she really is. Allegedly, and for entertainment purposes only, because I don't know her individually. But what I've seen of her, yeah, she's definitely curious. Next, we have the shadow. Excuse me. If you carry a big light, you're going to cast a large shadow, and you must own both. Endeavor in this moment to understand what shadow elements are at work. Be diligent not to project onto others your own fears, inadequacies, or resentments. This is your opportunity not to abandon any part of yourself, including your own darkness. Own all of it. Take responsibility for your shadows and the limitations you've put on yourself. Accountability is part of true power, as any dragon knows. I think one of the things that a lot of people struggle with is understanding their shadow side. Um, Karen at Ask the Spirit Guides is doing a book review, not book review, a book club, I guess, with her members of Shadow Work. And It looks fascinating. To understand the internal driving forces that we don't recognize about ourselves, that is shadow work. At least that's my understanding of shadow work. And then taking responsibility for those driving forces about ourselves. That's powerful. That's powerful. All right. At the bottom here, we have the moon day. I'm sorry, I did not show these cards up close. So let's do that real quick. This is the first one that I read, which is the Curious. I'm going to try and get that just a little closer so you can see. This right here is a fairy talking to the dragon. And here we have the shadow. And if you notice, on the wall behind her is the shadow of the dragon. Next, we have the moon dancer. This one is very interesting. Let's read what the moon dancer is. That's Now is the time for dreaming and moon bathing. Mother Moon is friend to all dragons, for she incubates their dreams and grows wings for all their wishes. She can do the same for you. Take a walk in her radiance, bask in her glow, have a conversation with her about all the untold stories in your soul and the wishes waiting to grow wings. Let her have the full-hearted hope of you. Ask her to guide you through the dark night, bringing luminosity to all that's currently unknown, unseen, or unformed. That's a very interesting. To me, it feels like the moon brings forth the wishes. It's enough of a light that it begins to provide illumination. It's not so much that it's glaring. I don't know if that makes sense. Next, we have the healer. Let me see if I can't. There we go. That's a little better. This one is a fascinating card. I've read this one before, and this one, I'll read it in just a moment, but it talks about helping others who help themselves so that as you're helping them, you don't lose your own force. But it's also giving help to those who are aware that they need the help, wish to grow, and will take responsibility for actions. And I'll read this to you in just a moment, but let me just say, this is another card that most certainly describes Jasmine Crockett. Dragons can be helpers, and if you carry a dragon's blood in your veins, it's likely you want to leave this planet better than you found it. Yes, she does. Just remember the one rule all fierce beings employ before contributing healing services. Offer to help, offer help to those who are helping themselves. This way, you are able to maintain your vitality without leeching it out in the name of dependency. Another healing principle dragons know: you can only meet someone as deeply as they're willing to meet themselves. That is a profound statement right there. You can only meet someone as deeply as they're willing to meet themselves. So whether you fly high or dive deep, you must understand who and what you're dealing with. Now is the time to employ discernment and offer healing hand in hand, paw and claw. And then finally, we have the Crystal Guardian. Crystals contain the wisdom of the earth. Some believe that dragons too were made from the molten center of earth and therefore, like crystals, contain an ancient wisdom. Now is the time to draw on the earth's grounding and deep intelligence. Whether you consult your crystals, walk amongst the rock beds, or lay down with your spine stretched across the earth, seek the counsel of the earth. Listen to her stories and her messages. There is a voice and a vibration inside the rocks which will help ground you deep into the molten center of your own core. So, for this part of the cards I laid down for Jasmine, she's a very curious woman, and through that curiosity, she grows and learns more and applies it, and then grows and learns more and applies it. She is self aware to know her own shadows and what motivates her to do the things that she does. And she is not afraid of those. She knows that offering a little bit of light is enough to let others find their own path, and then they can light their own way. She helps to heal others, but only those who are willing to be healed. And through it all, she needs to take the time to ground herself to Mother Earth. Hmm. What a beautiful read. Okay, let me come to these guys next. And again, these are the Akashic Truth Oracle card deck. All right. At the top, we have Follow Your Passion. If there's something that excites and motivates you, it's a message from your Akashic record that it can lead to your abundance. Don't silence it. I do feel that Jasmine follows her passion. She is a person who is very passionate about leveling the playing field, and she does an amazing job of it. Speak your truth. You've stayed silent long enough. Speak up, stand your ground, and state your perspectives. You will rise to a higher vibration when you let your voice be heard. Yes, indeed. Speak up. What are you not saying that's eating you up inside? You can't keep this in forever. It's time to let it out so you can move on and be happy. And that goes hand in hand with speaking your truth and living your passion. Next, we have wisdom. You've been here before and you know what to do, yet you fear disappointing others. The wise choice may not be the popular choice, but choose for the highest good in this situation. I have watched Jasmine in her time in Congress, and I can say that she is motivated by the highest and greatest good for all. And I admire that deeply because certainly not everybody does. And finally, forgiveness. Withholding forgiveness only hurts you and prolongs the pain. It's time to forgive someone, or maybe even yourself. So if you can stay on the path of your highest, so you can stay on the path of your highest potential. I think a lot of us could use this message. I know for many, many years I struggled with forgiveness. I could hold a grudge. Could I hold a grudge? And my family is very much like that. I learned that through generations of grudge holders. And I realized that holding on to that hurt only hurt me. It's giving somebody else, as the saying goes, that I didn't hear until, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago. When you hold on to a grudge or that negative energy, when you don't forgive somebody else, you're letting them live rent free in your head. But what really helped me understand this was to recognize how much energy I gave to the relationships where I was holding a grudge. And the person that I was holding a grudge against never got any of that energy in a way that helped us grow. Um, and I say this coming from like this was a coping mechanism that I grew up with. Instead of talking about it, we just held a grudge. It's not healthy. It's not healthy at all. I'm really grateful that I've grown beyond that. I no longer hold grudges. I forgive and move on, and if people are supposed to be part of my life, they're part of my life. And if people are supposed to not be part of my life, then they're not part of my life. And I'm okay with it. Either way. I wish them I wish them all the best. I hope they are happy and they lead a life that for them is successful. And that's the best I can do. So, all right, that is my reading on Jasmine Crockett. Um, I'm grateful that you're here. Thank you for watching and being here and spending your time with me. And if you have a comment or if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe if you like the content. Um, and I love comments. So anyway, that being said, you are made of magic and stardust. Stardust and magic. There we go. I'll get there eventually. I got to get things in the right order. You are made of stardust and magic. You're far more powerful than you know, and you're profoundly loved. Thanks again for sticking with me for the reading, and we'll see you next time. Great blessings, everybody. Take care. Bye bye.